the last bits of summer that we have before everyone comes back home to the hall. My name is Colleen Dallaval. I'm the Associate Dean for Student Engagement, and I'll be emceeing this conversation tonight about how to engage locally. In this conversation, we are really lucky. We have two of our student leaders with us this evening. I'm going to let them introduce themselves as well, and then we'll jump right into our conversation. So, Carolyn, do you want to just introduce yourself and say maybe your name, your major, where you're from, and like anything you're involved in, maybe like a fun fact about yourself?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Carolyn. I'm a senior double majoring in biology and social work, and I'm from Boonton, but I'm currently in South Orange. I moved in today. Very fun. And
Welcome.
I'm vice president of student government.
Great. Thanks for coming. Olivia, you're next.
Hi everyone, I'm Olivia. I'm a junior history and Italian double major. I'm also an Office of Student Engagement intern, and I'm also the president of the Italian Student Union. So check us out during the involvement fair.
Oh, shameless plug. Shameless
Oh,
plug.
absolutely.
So Olivia, while you're getting the presentation up, I'll give everyone a little bit of background too as to who we are as the Office of Student Engagement. So like I mentioned, I'm the Associate Dean of Student Engagement, and our office really encompasses a lot of different co-curricular areas of campus. So we oversee clubs and organizations, our fraternity and sorority life, as well as our undergraduate diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. We do leadership development and trainings for our students, both on campus and off campus. We have a commuter student association, our class advisory boards. I advise Carolyn and the Student Government Association, as well as our new student orientation programming, student activities, weeks of welcome, and some other signature student events. So if you're a new student on this call, if you're a transfer student on this call, you'll be seeing a lot of this face over the next 2 weeks. And let me just start by saying we are so excited to have everyone back with us in a physical capacity this semester and this upcoming year. And we can't wait to talk to you about the local areas that really enhance the Seton Hall experience. So today we're going to go over some quick resources. This is by no means an extensive overview, but we also want to invite folks, if there's things that come up during this conversation that you have questions about, utilize the chat function. We'll be taking open floor Q&A at the end after we go through some of these initial slides. But we'd love to hear from you. If you want to take a moment to put your name and maybe where you're from in the chat, that would be great to see who is in the room with us. And we will kind of utilize that as we keep talking about some things to think about. So we can advance, Olivia. So when we think about where Seton Hall is, many of you, if you're from out of state, or if you're not familiar with the area, you may not know kind of, what our surrounding proximity is. So Seton Hall is actually a 58-acre campus. We're a 10-minute walk from the start of South Orange's downtown area. It's referred to as the Village. The students can correct me if I say any of this wrong. But downtown South Orange is our equivalent to kind of like the closest downtown to Seton Hall. The South Orange train station provides super close proximity to NJ Transit. And if you're also familiar with New Jersey Transit bus routes, we also have a bus stop right outside of campus gates. So we're really close. I'm seeing some local towns in here as well, so that's great. East Orange, West Orange, Rutherford. I saw Long Island as well, so hey. I am a New Jersey born and bred, Jersey girl born and bred, so I'm very familiar with New Jersey Transit, but for those of you who are not, Olivia can speak a little bit later about her experiences as she commutes in utilizing some of our public transportation as well. Seton Hall is also approximately 20 minutes from downtown Newark, which has a really great opportunity for students to interact with. There's local museums, the New Jersey Performing Arts Center, where there's concerts and theatrical performances, and Newark has a lot of really great opportunities for students who maybe don't want to go into the city but want a local vibe. Newark has opportunities for students to get to and from really close to campus. Equally, because of our access to transit, students are within a 30-minute train ride to New York City and about an hour train ride to Philadelphia and the adjacent metropolitan areas. So we're pretty centrally located and you'll see we're also 20 minutes from Newark International Airport. So for our out-of-state students, as you're planning or thinking about traveling to and from home, if you need to leave the state, we're pretty close to almost every every different mode of transportation. We didn't include ferries or boat transportation, but we are also close. I saw Jersey City. For those of you familiar with Hudson County, we are also close to that area as well. We can keep going, Olivia. So, like I just mentioned, we are really centrally located to both bus routes and train routes for the New Jersey Transit system. New Jersey Transit is a really easy way that our students capitalize on to get in and out of New York City, for whether it's for internships, to check out a Broadway show, to have a good time, or check out some local events or activities from the New York City area. NJ Transit is a great opportunity for our students to get in and out really seamlessly. Olivia, did you want to talk a little bit about, I know you're like a huge proponent of the NJ Transit app and kind of the accessibility that that provides and how you utilize it. Do you want to share with folks a little bit more about that and about your experience?
Yeah, absolutely. So this summer, I'm an intern with the student engagement, and since we've come back in person, I've been commuting from my home in Brooklyn, and it actually really isn't that bad. I'm a big fan of public transportation. So you download the app, and then you can check train times, check departure vision, is specifically what I am obsessed with. You can also plan your route if you want to go somewhere else besides South Orange. Like if you're coming from wherever you are in New Jersey, you can also get to South Orange, obviously. And you can also buy your ticket. And if you're a student, you get a 25% discount on monthly passes. So for all my commuters who are on this call, check that out because it really is helpful, because it can be pretty expensive, because it's about $14.50 round trip if you're going anywhere. I think you can buy the ticket, like even on the train, you could buy your ticket and you're immediately like ready to go. It kind of pops up this little QR code and the person scans it and you're on the train and you're all good. I think the easiest thing, it really is like 30 to 40 minutes into Manhattan, which is so nice. And then if you count like the 10-minute walk, well, no, it's really like 15-minute walk from campus to the train station, you really are very close to wherever you need to go. So do not discount these apps. They will save your life. I mean, you can buy a physical ticket if you go to the station, but it's just not worth it. I'm going to say that now.
Well, that's some inside scoop, Olivia, so thank you for that. And I know there was a question in the chat, what's the name of the app? So actually what Olivia's done is taken a screenshot of the app in the app search store. So for those of you, and the app is available for Google Play and Apple, on Apple devices. So the app is called NJ Transit Mobile App, and you would be able to just search for that, and the icon will look something like what you see on your screen right now. The other modes of transportation that we have, and I'm going to ask Olivia to also assist me in this, are on campus locally. We have the Shoefly as well as our SafeRide. Both of those are operated internally through our public safety and security team. Their schedule is going to be updated semesterly, but what we'll do is we'll drop in the chat the links to both of those websites so that you can see kind of what that service looks like and what it's offered. The Shoefly is our more popular mode of transportation. Students are able to hop on the Shoefly and they're able to go to designated drop-off locations within downtown South Orange. So if you're like, that 10-minute walk is not really my jam, I really want to hop on a shuttle to go down to the downtown area, or that you have another location, for example, on the weekends, Shoefly does go to our local Target, which, I mean, that's super important for me. I need to have a Target near me at all times. I see my other co-presenters nodding, which I know we can't live without a Target. So the nearest Target is in Union, and it's part of a shopping center that also has a Best Buy and has a Whole Foods right next to it. And the Shoefly incorporates that into their weekend schedule. The SafeRide is another option that I think Olivia just put that in the chat as well. So you can feel free to check that out. And that's a localized van, and it has a pickup and drop off area that is within a certain parameter of campus. So we really encourage students to utilize those services as well. The Shoefly most specifically is run on a really regular basis, has a regular schedule. And it also stops at our off-campus residence halls as well. So if you're a student that's living in Ora Manor or Terrell Manor and you want the shuttle to take you to and from your residence hall on its fixed schedule, you can do a pickup and drop off. Carolyn, was there anything I missed about Shoefly that you wanted to add? No? Okay.
No, I think you covered it all.
All right. If we move forward, I know we just talked about this. Oh, the last thing I did want to mention, sorry, on our last slide is that we also do have car share pickup and drop off locations. So for those of folks that are on the South Orange campus, if you decide to utilize Uber or another car share, or like Lyft or another car share service, there's a designated pickup and drop off area that's right at the front of campus near our security entrance. So students do have that option as well in a centralized location. Sorry, let's get to the good stuff now, the discounts. I mean, this is really what we're all really looking forward to. So we have worked with our partners within the South Orange and local villages and our adjacent communities to identify vendors that want to provide Seton Hall students with discounts. And we're super excited to share with you actually a website that the town of South Orange just published that outlines a Seton Hall Welcome Back event. So during that first week or so of classes and move-in, the town of South Orange has identified vendors within the village that are going to be providing a discount. So you'll see people on there, vendors from Burgers Grilled Right, BGR, all the way to the framing store, to opticians. If there's something that you need, we really encourage you to shop local and utilize that discount. To get your discount, as you'll see outlined on the presentation, you really just have to bring your Seton Hall ID. That's your access pass. These are some places that you can receive discounts on your order. And then you can also see, you may hear folks refer to Pirates Gold, Pirates Bucks. Pirates Gold is like the debit card version of your ID. You can bring that with you and upload money onto your ID card, and then it'll be read like a debit card at some of these establishments as well. So I know Olivia already plugged this, but really the biggest thing too is that you get a 25% discount on New Jersey Transit monthly rail passes, and that's huge, especially for our students that are interning in the city or need to utilize public transportation to get in and out. And the South Orange train station, this is actually a view on the walk down with the beautiful setting sun down towards South Orange Village. So this will be the path that you take from Seton Hall down to the South Orange area. Now, one thing I did, we can go to the next one. This is a good transition, Olivia. One thing I did want to note is the way that a lot of these discounts continue to get advocated for, and even the way we partner with the town of South Orange, is because our students get involved in a lot of these processes, whether it's doing community service outreach through our Division of Volunteer Efforts, which you can follow them. We have them tagged here on Instagram at Seton Hall Dove, or working with our Center for Community Research and Engagement, which we'll drop the link to that office in the chat. We work with our students to identify some of these partners, and the way we do that is we do have a structure within the Student Government Association, which is a subcommittee referred to as Village Relations. Carolyn, would you want to talk a little bit about Village Relations and kind of like what they do and what their role is?
Yeah, so it's a give and a take with the village, kind of. They help us find discounts, and then we all, I don't know how to describe it. We also look out for things in the village. Like, an example of an initiative is across the street, like right outside of campus. To get to health services, you have to cross the street, and that, like, the light was broken there. And so Village Relations Committee did some research and like helped report to the village. So it's not just us like looking for discounts, it's also us trying to enhance the village and just make it a fun college town.
Yeah, and also I think it serves as a liaison between the institution and the town, and allows students to really help enact change that benefits both in a mutually beneficial way. So that's another engagement opportunity for students that want to get more invested locally and kind of be advocates for the students with the town. The Village Relations Committee is also a way to do that. I did just want to note the Center for Community Research and Engagement also provide, and Dove also provide volunteer opportunities and partnerships with nonprofits, not just within the South Orange area, but within the greater Essex County area, even within the New York metropolitan area. So we really encourage students to get involved and be partners. And when they're doing community service or working within these spaces, that they really get to know the community that they're working in and understand the community's needs, not just in a one-stop event or activity, but that they're understanding the context as well. So we wanted to also shamelessly plug our involvement week is going to take place September 7th all the way through September 9th. So if you're a new or transfer student on this call, mark those dates on your calendar. It will take place on the University Green, right where these folks are warming their hands by the fire pit. That will be with tables, and clubs and organizations will be there to also talk about involvement opportunities and ways in which they get involved within the town and within the local area. So I know this is a lot of information that we just dropped on everyone, but we would love to kind of see if any folks have any questions specifically about the local area or anything that myself, Carolyn, or Olivia could help answer for you. That noise, just so everyone knows, is a 2-year-old in the background. That's my daughter, Ryan. So I promise I'm not torturing anyone. It's just typical toddler pre-bedtime. Does anyone have any questions that we could help answer? And you can feel free to put them in the chat. I'm going to ask I'll ask you, our panelists, a really quick question to kind of get the conversation going, which is, can you guys share what one of your favorite local restaurants or eateries is and why?
Sure, I'll go first. My favorite probably is The Order, which is a brunch place right past the train station, still on South Orange Avenue. I've only been there a few times, to be honest, but they have these really great biscuits that I brought. I was like, Mom, you're coming to visit me? We have to go. And then I got her to pay for me because I'm the oldest and she misses me. But I really I think all of their food is homemade. Obviously, none of it is like fake or preservatives, and they also have really nice staff. And that was really, so I got like that like home vibes from a restaurant, which I feel like is kind of hard to find sometimes. So yeah, definitely check that place out if you have time.
I'll add that to my list. Carolyn?
I'm having trouble deciding between two. I really like the Trat, the Trattoria pizza, because they have a really good slice of pizza. They do some fun like specialty slices. And then I really like the Gridiron Waffle Shop. They get really creative with their food. They have some interesting options. And my grandma would come visit me. She'd go to church with me, and then we'd go to the Gridiron Waffle Shop. So just have some good memories.
Ooh. The Gridiron Waffle Shop is also very good. I've been there. I can speak to both personally. I saw in the chat that there's a question about what's the closest bus route to campus. I'm going to be honest, I'm not super familiar with the bus routes, but what we can do is we can include a link to the directions to campus, which also includes some information in regards to public transportation. So that might be the best place to look for that answer. Just to also disclose, the bus stop is literally right next to the gate. So if you are taking public transportation and you're taking the bus to campus, you'll be able to literally come off of the bus stop and go right into the side gate of campus. So it's no more than 3 steps from the side gate. And then SafeRide. This is a great question. What is SafeRide? How do students use SafeRide? Carolyn, do you want to answer that?
I can explain a little bit. Still kind of getting the hang of it myself. But there's a SafeRide app, and it kind of goes where Shoefly does not go. And so you go on the app and you kind of like order your SafeRide, kind of, and they'll come and like pick you up and drop you off. But the point of SafeRide is that it goes places that Shoefly doesn't go, so that even like wherever you're going, I mean, it does have its limits, but wherever you're going, you'll be safe and you'll have like a ride there.
Yeah, the key feature about our SafeRide is that it operates the hours that Shoefly does not. So between 5 p.m. and 1 a.m., and I'm going to just drop this little note from the website into the chat. Between 5 p.m. and 1 a.m. is when SafeRide operates. And what students can do is they can really utilize it as a free, reliable escort to transport people that are like within a smaller radius around campus back to campus. So if there's, if you're coming back from the train and it's later at night, or you're at a you're going off campus and you need to get back to campus, and Shoefly is not available, then the SafeRide is kind of the complement to our Shoefly shuttle schedule, if that makes sense. So that was also a really great question. Okay, I have one more question for our panelists, and then if we don't have questions within the audience, we can just kind of wrap up. If you all had, Olivia and Carolyn, if you had to give folks one piece of advice coming in about the local area or just about like getting involved or getting acclimated, because for a lot of folks, this is going to be a new town, don't know where things are. What are some things, like a piece of advice that you would give to an incoming student?
That's a good question. I'm going to recommend what I did with my suite mates. I'm actually a transfer student, and my entire suite was also transfers. And so the first weekend when we had some free time, I was like, just come with me. And we literally, the four of us got up and we just walked into town, and we like spent like an hour and a half just walking around and seeing where everything was. And I don't think I bought one thing, but I kind of knew where things were then. And I was like, oh, maybe we'll go tomorrow to this restaurant. And that kind of made me a lot more comfortable with like where I was, because I have a really bad sense of direction personally. So now I was like, okay, I will not be getting lost, and I know what I can do now, which is really fun.
I would kind of say a similar thing, like go out and like visit everywhere you can. It really makes like the South Orange Village is part of like the Seton College experience, so it makes your experience whole. Seeing all the different places, and like you'll have memories at like BGR or like Carvel, and like it just makes the experience.
Yes. Well, I see we do have one hand up. Katerina, you have a question? You can unmute.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi, so I'm an incoming freshman from Jersey City, and I actually I took the NJ Transit 1 bus to the campus. Well, it actually doesn't stop at the campus, it stopped like 10 minutes before, but I went there to pick up my laptop, and I've been thinking I am planning to download the New Jersey Transit mobile app. So I do have some questions about that. So I guess my first one is like how does it work? And I kind of missed the part where how I can use it to pay for my fare on the bus. That'll be my first question.
Yeah, totally. So if you download the app, I don't know if you guys can all see, but it comes with these like 4 markers. I have a screensaver on, sorry. The first one is buy ticket, departure vision, my bus, and schedules, and then you can share your favorite routes, etc., etc. So if you take the bus specifically, when you click on my bus, you can see what route you'll take, and it will give you times and stuff like that. I've never personally taken a New Jersey bus. I only take the train. That's just how I get to campus. But you can add your credit card into like your the app wallet, and you'll be able to pay that way. So it's with your credit card. But the bus might be a little bit different. I just have not taken the bus. I'm not sure.
Okay, I have to think about a QR code. So how does that QR code work?
The QR code appears after you purchase your ticket on the train, and that's how the conductors scan your ticket in. Does that make sense? So
would it work for this? Would it work the same way for the bus? Because I'm commuting solely by bus when I to the campus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you have to go into the app, and you may need to. You can also DM or contact NJ Transit about the app. I haven't used the app on a bus, so I can't speak from my like personal experience in that sense. But I believe if you can purchase your tickets on the app, then there should be some functionality on the app in the same way there's functionality on the train. But I can't speak to that like from personal experience because I haven't used it in that mode of transportation.
Okay, so I would have to call
You should be
you
able
connected to.
to look it up on their website or on the app itself.
Here,
Okay.
Katerina, I just really quickly before I see some people have their hands raised. You actually are able to buy bus tickets on the app. You just have to go to the My Tickets section, the Buy Ticket section, and you'll be able to plug in your route, and you can pay through your credit card through there. But so that should answer your question, hopefully.
Okay.
Hopefully.
And the 20% discount for students, is that only for the train or could it be applied for the bus as well?
That is only for the rail, but there might be other options on the New Jersey Transit website. I'll drop the link and you can check it out.
Okay, and like how much money can you put on your ticket, and like how many months, like how long can you
Well,
like if I wanted to put money in for like 3 months,
the ticketing options are really determined by NJ Transit. So the way you pay for them and the capacity for like how long your ticket will last is really going to be determined by NJ Transit's ticketing system. So for rails, sometimes you can buy up to 6 months at a time if it's the same route. But again, that's all dictated by NJ Transit. So your best bet would be to explore a little bit more on the NJ Transit website to get some info from them about that.
Okay, just 2 more questions. Is there a promo code?
I believe.
Go ahead, Olivia.
No, for the student discount, if you look on the NJ Transit website, you'll just have to show a student ID to prove that you're actually a student and not somebody else. I believe that you can do that at the train station. For buses, again, I'm not exactly sure because I've never taken a New Jersey Transit bus, but their website that I dropped in the chat just a few seconds ago probably has more information on buses specifically.
Okay, and is there an expiration date for the tickets?
Yeah. Again, that I think that you have to check with NJ Transit on that. If, for example, if it's a monthly pass, it expires at the end of each month. If it's a different type of ticket, then it's really going to depend on their terms of agreement.
Okay, and one more thing. Do I have to pay for the app before I download it?
No.
No, it's a free app.
Oh, good. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So I see we have 2 more hands up. Rika? If I'm mispronouncing your name, please correct me.
No, you said it right. What's the difference between Shoefly and SafeRide?
Okay, great question. So the difference between SafeRide and Shoefly is that Shoefly is a regular, like scheduled shuttle. It has predetermined stops, similar to like a bus route or a airport or hotel shuttle, meaning that it has a designated schedule, operates during a specific time frame, and only goes to those designated stops or locations on that schedule. SafeRide operates in after hours, so that 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. time slot, and does not have designated stops, right? So it will go, as long as you're within the pickup perimeter, it will go to any location to pick you up or drop you off. So I think someone else had a question in the chat too about will SafeRide drop you at a bus stop or the bus station? Again, I would direct you to that map that's on the website where it shows you the perimeter of where SafeRide drives. And if it's within that perimeter, it will take you there. But if it's not, it won't take you to those locations. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I see one more hand up. Jate? Also, if I mispronounce your name, please let me know because I'd love to correct it.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, I was answering the other girl's question about the New Jersey Transit. So
Great.
basically the New Jersey Transit. It's kind of like the train station, so they pick you up at a certain stop, and on the app you can buy like a monthly ticket, or you can buy a daily ticket. But the daily ticket is only good for like one ride. But if you want to buy like a round trip ride, it's like the same price kind of, just you're paying for 2 tickets. But the monthly pass, which I would recommend, you can use it anytime during that month at any point, like at all.
It's like unlimited rides for a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great point too. And the expiration on the ride is a really good point as well. And the one thing I would say for any folks that are considering NJ Transit on the rails specifically is you also want to look at the price points. Like for example, if you're like myself and balling on a budget, it might make sense to do a monthly pass, because given the number of rides that you would use to come to campus or to go to work or to do whatever you need to do, it might make more sense for you financially to have that as opposed to individual rides. Great point. Thank you. Look at this. Commuters helping commuters. This is what I'm talking about. And then I see we have another question in the chat that is asking, does SafeRide have a schedule, or do you have to call for rides? Really good question as well. So you call public safety, and that's how you would be able to access the SafeRide. It's similar to how you go and request like an Uber, for example. You would call and then they would let you know if there's a driver available to come to your designated location and pick you up. So I don't see any other hands, but I just wanted to throw it back to Olivia and Carolyn. Do you have any final thoughts that you wanted to share? I think we're having great conversation, great pieces of advice. Carolyn?
I just want to point, there's also an app. You don't have to just call public safety. There's an app for SafeRide too. Because I know I wouldn't want to call.
So there's an app for that. There's an app for everything. Yes. And thank you, Olivia just put that also in our chat as well. Well, I really want to thank everybody. I know that there's a lot of information that we just shared in the last 30 minutes. It was a super dense but very productive conversation. And if anyone has any questions, if you think of something after today and you're like, I still have questions about that, you can always email engagement@shu.edu. And someone from our Office of Student Engagement will help connect you to the campus resource. But I want to say on behalf of everyone over here at Seton Hall University, I want to really thank Olivia and Carolyn, our panelists, for being here with us and sharing their wisdom from a student's perspective. And I really want to thank each of you for tuning in tonight to learn a little bit more. I hope that those of you that talked about commuting will see each other in classes or in passing, or perhaps join the Commuter Student Association and help connect with one another and share the tips and tricks of the trade. But we really are so excited to see all of you come back home to the hall this upcoming semester. We can't wait for our students to start classes in 2 weeks, and we can't wait to welcome everybody back. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. My name again is Colleen Dallaval. I'm the Associate Dean for Student Engagement here at Seton Hall. I hope you all have a fabulous evening and a great 2 weeks, and I'll see everybody on the first day of classes, August 30th. All right, have a great day, everybody.